This is the most funniest YouTuber on there. The most funniest YouTuber. And he's called Yellow Pants Animations. Let's go check him out. Let's check out this video.
Tackle hay fever allergies with Telfast 180mg 100 pack, $39.99.
No, just an ad.
Well, I just had pretty bad eyesight. So I can only remember a handful of times. So I was a pretty good kid in elementary school. I always got to school on time and sat in the front row. Not because I wanted to learn. Well, I just had pretty bad eyesight. So I can only remember a handful of times when I got in trouble. And to be honest, most of them were not even my fault. I swear. This one time in class, our teacher, Miss Sushi, decided to play a game instead of teach. She must have run out of materials that day. By the way, Miss Sushi wasn't a real name, but her name sounds pretty close to that. So we'll call her Miss Sushi, because I like sushi. So the game was, one student comes to the front of the class and has to answer everyone's questions, each time by saying the word sausage. Everyone else could ask silly questions, trying to make him laugh. If he laughs, then he's out. And so another student would then come on and replace him. The room was filled with kids jumping around and shouting with excitement. So one kid called Joseph gets on stage and everyone starts asking questions. What's your name? Sausage. Who's your best friend? Sausage. What's your favorite food? That's easy. Sausage. Questions kept popping left and right, but it wasn't challenging enough for Joseph. The questions were too easy. At this rate, he would never laugh. So I start thinking, okay, I gotta come up with a much more provocative question that'll make him laugh so hard he'll fall off his chair. Of course, at that age, I didn't know what provocative meant, but you get the idea. Finally, I thought of a great question, so I pull out my outstretched arm over a sea of hands, all waving for Joseph's affection. Pick me! My eyes screamed at him. When Joseph picked me at last, I said, what is your penis made out of? The class fell silent with horror, and then Joseph gives off a huge sheepish laugh. There, I did it! Look, he laughed! I win! I was about to get on stage to take his place, but then the teacher stops the class, looks at me dead in the eye and says, "That was very inappropriate, and I'm very disappointed in you. Go stand in the corner, please. I will have a talk with you later." I mean, seriously, did I do something wrong? It's not like I've never said the word penis outside of class before. Is that even a rude word? I mean, I was simply naming one of the most important organs in the male human body. Probably the most important. Miss Sushi, grow up. Can't we all just be a little bit more mature about it? Actually, Miss Sushi was a pretty nice teacher, but still, none of this would have happened if she had just taught the class as usual instead of playing games. So really, whose fault is that? I bet she found it funny though, but she had to act all professional. I'm sure when she met up with her friends later for dinner, she was like, "Hey ladies, guess what happened in school today? When we played the sausage game in class, one of my students asked, 'What's your penis made out of?' And then they all laughed their asses off. Now, I might have gotten in trouble that day, but I earned the respect of all my peers. Yep, all 20 of them pre-puberty kiddies. This other time, my friends and I saw a bunch of kids playing near the trees area during lunch. And since it had rained a little earlier, the dirt became mud and was all soft and squishy. It was like they were playing with Play-Doh. So we joined in. We started building houses and making tunnels and bridges and roads. And as a kid, it was the most fun I've ever had. But eventually the bell rings and we had to go back in class. The teachers were confused on why our hands were so dirty. We kept it a secret, but eventually they would find out. But that part would come a little bit later. We decided since it was so fun, we were all going to come really early to school the next day to play again. So next morning, I wake up early and ran to school, bring all my Hot Wheels cars with me. Squishy. It was like they were playing with Play-Doh. So we joined in. We started building. Most fun I've ever had. But eventually the bell rings and we had to go back in class. The teachers were confused on why our hands were so dirty. We kept it a secret. But in the evening, I wake up early and ran to school. Eventually the bell rings and we had to go
Wait,
back
let me
in
do
class. The teachers were confused on why our hands were so dirty.
Okay.
We kept it a secret, but eventually they would find out. But that part would come a little bit later. We decided since it was so
Did they just talk in the
we
toilet?
all
Discussing secret inside toilet, not weird.
going to come really early to
It is
school the
weird.
next day to play again. So next morning, I wake up early and ran to school, bringing
Yeah.
all my Hot Wheels cars with me. The area
What?
was dry this time because it didn't rain. But not to worry. We filled our plastic bottles up with tap water and poured it onto the dirt. And voila, mud! This time, we built wider roads, taller skyscrapers, longer tunnels, and larger bridges. We were having so much fun. But then the teachers all came marching up with looks of disappointment written all over their faces. At last, they had found out. We all got in trouble and were not allowed to
Wait,
play there
did I
ever
just see
again.
that
The
book,
teachers
but-
even wrapped yellow tape over the whole
What
area,
the
like it was some
hell,
kind of
bro?
crime scene. I mean, seriously, the only crime we committed was having too much fun. But apparently, that was considered dangerous. So we argued and complained to the teachers, but they kept saying it was unsafe. Well, guess what? I did a quick Google search. Is it safe to play in mud? So in short, yes, mud is certainly safe for children to play in. There are some precautions that you need to take, such as, who cares about that? However, the benefits that your children will get from mud play is just amazing. So there you go. That proves my point. The teachers thought about it some more. And a few days later, came up with this excuse. Well, you can't play there because it'll destroy the soil and affect the whole plant ecosystem.
The teacher has a good point.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, but we all know that wasn't the reason why we weren't allowed to play there. Okay, this other time when I came to school in the morning, my friends and I saw a group of kids hovering near the bushes area. So we walked over and found out they were picking berries off the trees. My friend decided to pick one, takes a bite, and tells me that's the best tasting berry he's ever had. I didn't believe him, so I tried one to make sure. And guess what? You won't believe me either, but it was the best tasting berry I've ever had. It was sweet and juicy, and above all, it was free. I couldn't stop eating, nor could my friend or the other bunch of kids surrounding the area. It was like a school trip to some magical candy store. To this day, I still don't know what kind of berry it was. Kind of like a mix between raspberry and blackberry, but also not really. Probably their close distant cousin or something. Of course, the teachers found out soon enough, and we weren't allowed to go near the berry trees ever again. Then they fenced off the area with yellow tape. Again! Miss! Haven't we seen that one-trick pony before? They told us that the berries could have been poisonous. Sure, except that there were like 50 kids that day, all
What?
dressed up with berries.
The
and
most
no one
funniest
felt
YouTuber
sick,
in
but
the world.
apparently it could have been poisonous. I can just imagine the
What?
teachers waiting for all the kids to
Okay,
leave after school
they
and
have,
then taking
like,
all the berries for
disappointment places.
themselves.
Like-
Whatever happened to sharing is caring?
sus,
They would then
sus,
chomp
sus,
down on
sus.
our berries while celebrating. And then they would say to one another, "You don't believe me, but this is the best berry I've ever had."
Okay, let's watch another video. Attention. Wait. Little butt. Hide and seek
This
challenge.
probably wasn't the best
just
time
an
for Mike to
ad.
talk about a show he hadn't seen.
This is a crime scene.
Yeah. Just
So
the
there
ad,
we
they
were, bored as hell, at my
They're
friend
not
David's house.
trespass.
And since his parents weren't home, we decided to play
Wait,
hide
wait,
and seek.
It's not stop.
So there we were, bored as hell, at my friend David's house. And since his parents So there we were, bored as hell, at my friend David's house. And since his parents weren't home, we decided to play hide and seek. Surely it's a safe game, right? Oh, how wrong we were. Now we had 6 people. Me, David, Billy, Steve, and 2 girls with cooties. And there are only 2 rules. 1, do not break anything in David's house, because his parents would get pissed. And 2, do not go into his parents' room, because his parents would get pissed. David becomes the hunter and he starts counting to 100. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15,
Bruh.
19.
He does
Dude
not know
couldn't
how
even
to
count
count.
properly. But we had no time to argue maths. Everyone started scrambling around, trying to hide. 3 of us reached David's bedroom and we all tried to squeeze under his bed. Problem was, our heads were way too big. But Billy was making progress because he had a smaller head, you see. Well, everyone knows small head equals small wiener. But that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, even Billy got stuck halfway in. So we forcefully shoved his head with all our strength. And I think he kept yelling, "Ah, my head hurts! Why are you doing this to me?" Other than that, he went through without a hitch. 52, 53, 54. The 2 girls ran into this wine cellar room. There was a big-ass cabinet under all that wine, so they hid inside. So picture this, 2 kids surrounded by alcohol. Well, it could be worse. Meanwhile, Steve and I left Billy by himself. He was screaming in agony. Something about his head being squished, but we didn't believe him. And plus, time was running out, so we dove off to the kitchen. 76, 77, 78. I say to Steve, "You want to go inside that fridge?" No way, bro. I don't want to turn into a popsicle and freeze my balls off. That's fair. But maybe I should go inside that washing machine? I said, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Looks real comfy." Of course, I was joking. But next thing I know, Steve was already inside. "Hey man, close the door, will you?" Okay, if you insist. Now time was running out. Everyone had picked a spot, except me. I had to find a place quick. I could hear David the hunter almost finish counting. 91, 92, 95, 93, 92. Luckily, as you recall, he couldn't count. So I still had a few more seconds left. Then I rush up the stairs. I notice a master bedroom on my right, and I leap straight inside. Just in time as David the hunter finishes counting. "Ready or not, here I come." Uh-oh, I knew immediately something wasn't right. I wasn't supposed to be here because this was David's parents' room. How did I know, you ask? Because I could see David's parents' wedding picture hung up on the wall. And I felt like they were looking at me with disapproving faces. But I knew I couldn't leave now. I would be caught straight away if I go out to the corridors again. So I looked around and the only place to hide was inside the wardrobe. So I went in. Now I'm thinking if David the hunter opens the wardrobe, I'd be doomed. So I had to hide myself like a ninja. I started piling up clothes on top of me. The only problem was I was slowly dying from lack of oxygen. But that was the price I was willing to pay because David the hunter will never be able to spot
This
me
is the
under
best.
a mountain of his parents' clothes, bras,
So
and
funny.
underwear. And plus,
I'm totally
I don't
gonna
think he'd
subscribe
wanna
to
look.
him.
Okay, so here was the situation. Billy's under the bed with his head all
I like
squished
the
up,
video.
and the 2 girls probably getting drunk with what they thought was grape juice, and then making out or something. Who knows? People do strange things when they're drunk. And Steve's all wrinkled up inside that washing machine, praying no one turns it on for a spin. And then there's me inside the wardrobe, barely conscious, trying to suck up whatever air was left. Now, David was a baller. First, Billy gets caught because he was making too much noise. "Help me! I don't want to play this game anymore." Then the girls with cuties were caught because they were making too much noise. And then, sadly, Steve got caught. It was like seeing players getting eliminated in Squid Game. And now, only I was left. I was our team's last hope. Then suddenly, David's parents come home. Yeah, they were pretty pissed because the place was a mess. I was still in the wardrobe, so I didn't actually see what happened, but I could hear muffled voices coming from downstairs.
I told you not to play hide and seek without adult supervision. It's dangerous. You could get hurt.
And the dad's like, "No, my wine!" Though after a while, there was no more sound. Apparently, my friends decided to all go home because it got a little awkward after that, and I didn't blame them. But I mean, everyone kind of just forgot about me. Is that everyone? Yep, think so. Let's get out. Because I was still in the wardrobe, still inside that room where I wasn't supposed to be in. His parents are gonna get really pissed if they found out I was still in here. So how do I get out of this one?
This one?
Don't let too
Wait,
sensitivity
no.
disrupt life's moments. Try Sensodyne Complete.
Wait. Poop. This one looks good.
So the other day, I was in the McDonald's toilet doing
Done. Doing poop. Did you
When I
just poop, my
finished and
man?
came out, some
Did
random
you fart?
sneezed on my face. Ah! Pow!
Bruh. He has water
My
drop on his
face
face,
is
bro.
wet. Bro, use your mask. Nope, don't need it.
Bruh.
I guess you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he just ran off.
I'm coughing with laughter.
I was furious. Why was this happening? I don't even know him. I just wanted to poop. That's it.
Did you
I'm
pee,
gonna
bro?
catch him. And when I do, I'm gonna sneeze right back at him. On his face. In his mouth. I'm kidding. I wasn't gonna do that. Well, maybe just a little bit. But first, I had to wash my face. Oh, no! Why isn't it working? Fine, I'll just wipe it off then. Huh? Come on, man. Not even one square? This toilet sucks. How am I supposed to dry my face? Ta-da! Maybe. Wait! I can explain! I had a terrible time. Then I left. I was ready to catch the guy, but I wanted to finish my burger first. I'd already paid for it. Plus, I was hungry. But suddenly, a masked figure appeared out of nowhere, and he rushed to the front counter. Listen up, y'all! This is a goddamn robbery! No, folks, he wasn't playing. The place fell silent. And I thought, really? Out of all places you could rob? This? McDonald's? The masked man started waving his gun around in front of the workers. Nobody move! Just give me the money and nobody gets hurt. This was scary to watch. And then I heard the guy next to me whisper, "No, man, I knew I should have just got takeaway." Everybody started
Bruh.
freaking out. Clearly, all the workers were in danger. And I thought to myself, oh no! What is gonna happen to me? And weirdly enough, the masked man turned around to all the customers and said, "You can relax. Now I'm not gonna rob any of you poor folks." Well, that was rude. Well, in that case, I guess he's never getting this $5 from my wallet. Close. Not for you. Just then, one of the staff opened the cash register. "Hey man, we don't want any trouble, okay? Here, take it. Take it all." The masked man started counting. $213? All right, that's a lot of money. And he started filling up his pockets. And all this time, everyone was just standing around watching. I mean, I was too. But I'm like, maybe I should do something. But then I thought, nah. Bruh. It was only like $200.
What?
What am I? Gonna risk my life? For that?
Bro, that's crazy. Nope.
Screw that. Not worth the trouble. The masked man finished collecting all those coins, and right before he left, he yelled, "Hey!" So how much is a cheeseburger? $2.50? Then he took out $2.50 out of his pocket and gave it to the worker. A cheeseburger, please.
Bruh. Let's just add, guys.
Yo! What was he doing? I was confused, man. Bro, you've gone this far already. I mean, you might as well just... Why are you paying? I could not believe it. This guy was tripping. Why are you paying? Anyway, he got his cheeseburger and started walking out. But then he stopped for a second, because I guess he had to sneeze. And then he ran off. Oh, snap! I've heard that sound before. I could never forget a sneeze like that. You cannot believe. But that's the dude who sneezed on my face. This was crazy, yo. At least this time when he sneezed, he actually had a mask on. You know, I had to give him props for that. Just then, the police rushed in, all huffing and puffing. Did anybody manage catch a glimpse of what that masked man looked like? And everyone's just like, nah, bro, isn't that your job? But I felt like it was finally time for me to stand up and be a hero. So I said, officers, I may be able to help. So they took me all the way to the police station.
Subscribe
apparently,
to Harrison
they had
Club.
already caught like 3
Subscribe
suspicious
to Harrison
dudes.
Club instead.
But they weren't sure exactly which one was the thief.
Do not
At this
subscribe.
point, I realized, no, man, I couldn't tell either. I never really got a good look at the guy. Plus, they all had masks on. So that didn't help. But wait, I had an idea. I reached into my pocket and pulled something out. The officer was confused. Is that a pepper packet from McDonald's? Huh? Why do you have that? I said, oh, you'll see. I walked towards the first guy. He looked terrified. I didn't blame him because he wasn't ready for what I was about to do. I reached into my pocket and then I shoved that pepper packet right under his nose. And immediately he went, achoo! Nope, not this guy. I moved on to the next. I did the same thing once again. Achoo! Not him either. Now only one guy was left. I said, pepper spray, pow! And he went, oh, ladies and gentlemen, I heard that familiar voice once again and knew immediately it was him. Officers, this is the guy you're looking for. But I paid for my cheeseburger. Lock him up, boys. Then I looked right back at him. Remember me? Gotcha now. And then I sneezed on his face.
Whoa. That was epic. Okay, guys, that was the most funniest YouTuber in the world. I hope you subscribe.